Melanie Tonia Evans, You Can Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse, the #1 system for recovering from toxic relationships. In New You Can Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse, Melanie Tonia Evans provides a comprehensive guide to understanding and recovering from toxic relationships marked by narcissism. This book delves into the complex nature of narcissistic abuse, characterized by manipulation and emotional exploitation, and offers essential insights to help victims break free from the cycle. By exploring real-life examples, like Annika's story, Evans illustrates the insidious tactics narcissists use and the addictive trauma bonds they create. Readers are introduced to a structured recovery system based on self-partnering and self-love, empowering them to heal deep-seated wounds and cultivate healthier relationships. The book serves as a beacon of hope, showing that, with the right tools and mindset, thriving after narcissistic abuse is achievable.
Narcissistic Chains. Narcissistic abuse is a damaging blend of emotional, psychological, and mental torment wielded by individuals who possess an inflated sense of self-importance. These individuals thrive on admiration and believe they deserve exceptional treatment. Often, they exploit others' kindness and empathy without reciprocating any sensitivity to others' emotions. Quick to anger at perceived slights, narcissists might react as dramatically as a child, and their need to defend themselves often involves projecting their flaws onto those around them, leading to relationships characterized by instability and conflict. Take Annika's experience as a poignant example. Initially, Ray, her narcissistic husband, captivated her with extravagant gifts and relentless flattery, hallmarks of the manipulative technique known as love bombing. However, beneath the surface of charm lay possessiveness and control, manifesting in jealousy over any attention Annika received elsewhere. When she spoke up about her discomfort, Ray masterfully manipulated her empathy by weeping and promising to reform, though his remorse was fleeting. His behavior soon devolved into belittling Annika, instilling in her a belief that she was insignificant and unable to be loved by others. This was further compounded by his gaslighting, as Ray would deny or trivialize his abuse, leading Annika to question her reality. Annika's attempts at addressing these issues often met with either explosive anger or frosty silence from him. This erratic treatment mirrored the cruel dynamics of the mean girl cliques, with Ray oscillating between cold indifference and sudden displays of affection, creating a trauma bond that kept Annika emotionally tethered. She found herself mixed up in a cycle where she, like an addict, longed for the occasional positive reinforcements amid the cruelty. Ray's manipulation extended beyond the emotional, tapping into Annika's resources as he accumulated debt in her name, securing her financial dependence on him. Meanwhile, her efforts to establish boundaries were met with accusations of selfishness, twisting Annika into believing she was at fault. In this web of manipulation, her self-worth eroded, leaving her anxious, isolated, and burdened with misplaced guilt. Annika's ordeal exposes the sinister techniques by which narcissists retain control while masking their malice. Her story serves as a vivid illustration of the powerful grip such individuals can have, all the while appearing outwardly charming and affable. Breaking free from illusions. Healing from narcissistic abuse involves recognizing the complex bond that intoxicates and entraps. This journey demands facing the familiar echoes of childhood wounds as well as admitting the entanglement and longing tied to the relationship. These bonds, much like addiction, are fueled by the brain's release of dopamine and oxytocin during fleeting moments of affection. Just as Annika felt ensnared by her partner's sporadic kindness, these biochemicals create a powerful cycle that keeps one tethered to an unhealthy relationship. Escaping this cycle mirrors overcoming substance dependency, and the first step requires acknowledgement of the damaging pattern. Cutting ties entirely, or adopting a no-contact approach, is essential. Although this withdrawal can trigger a profound sense of loss, it's a necessary path for recovery. Narcissists, lacking true empathy or accountability, may attempt to draw their partners back with acts of love bombing. Yet this behavior only perpetuates the cycle of abuse. Individuals like Matthew might hope for closure from their narcissistic partners, as he did from his ex, Joyce, despite her betrayal and indifference. However, expecting justice, acknowledgement, or an apology from a narcissist is futile. The resolution lies not in confronting the abuser but in detaching from the destructive narratives and projections one holds. For Matthew, breaking free meant severing all contact and finding solace in a support group. In truth, narcissists are incapable of providing the validation or healing their partners seek. Overcoming this tumultuous bond involves internal transformation, replacing the illusion of closure with self-empowerment and radical self-love. By turning inward and dismantling these toxic ties, survivors can ultimately find peace and clarity. Healing emerges not from the narcissist's acknowledgement, but from one's commitment to self-repair and emotional independence. Escaping narcissistic traps. Are you unwittingly attracting narcissists into your life? For many, the roots of this vulnerability lie in childhood experiences, where weak boundaries are formed and intuition is suppressed. It doesn't matter how successful or competent you appear, if early attachment with caregivers was insecure, it leaves an indelible mark on self-worth and trust. Narcissistic or negligent parenting creates a cycle of emotional neglect, programming children to expect criticism and control as standard facets of all relationships. This relentless cycle is often reinforced by parental issues such as addiction, self-absorption, or authoritarian tendencies, leaving children feeling emotionally starved and chasing after conditional love. Take Blair, for instance. Her father's controlling and verbally abusive nature required her to silence her emotions to avoid his wrath. This relentless environment taught her that love is synonymous with criticism and pain. Consequently, as an adult, Blair found herself tangled in relationships with narcissistic partners who mirrored this abusive dynamic. Her journey of healing involved confronting these deep-seated attachment wounds, rediscovering her self-worth, and crafting strong personal boundaries, ultimately freeing herself from the cycle of abuse. Narcissists thrive on exploiting vulnerabilities, particularly those rooted in early trauma. Dispelling the myth that we receive the treatment we give, it's evident that harsh self-criticism only attracts more critics, and neglect of one's needs results in similar neglect from others. Healing these childhood traumas is crucial for survivors of narcissistic abuse. By doing so, individuals can break free from dependency on others for validation, detaching from those who might only exploit their insecurities. Rediscovering self-care and self-worth becomes the empowering antidote to the poison of narcissistic exploitation. Path to empowered healing. Healing from past abuse and building healthier relationships begins with the core practice of self-partnering. Reconnecting with yourself, rather than relying on external validation, initiates the healing process by addressing the inner vulnerabilities that may have attracted narcissistic partners. It's not about tying your worth to achievements. Even accomplished individuals can remain emotionally detached and susceptible to manipulation. By grounding yourself in your own emotions, you foster a secure space within. Next is the transformative act of self-devotion, which involves nurturing yourself as gently as you would a dear friend. Self-compassion can ignite profound inner change, unlike self-criticism, which mimics the emotional harm of narcissistic abuse. To truly mend your relationship with yourself, make healing a priority without succumbing to the urge to please others. The addictive nature of past abusive dynamics might tempt you, yet resisting this pull is vital for establishing healthy connections. Confronting bodily held trauma is also crucial. Techniques like visualization can access the emotional depths where trauma resides beyond the realm of logical thought. Releasing these burdens allows your innate well-being to flourish. Whether through support groups or professional therapy, seeking help to process trauma is a valuable step. Stepping outside your comfort zone is another pivotal phase. As you dismantle limiting beliefs and fears, you embark on a journey of personal growth and brilliance. Rediscover your life's purpose, which becomes clearer once you've addressed past traumas. This clarity births your creative energy, previously stifled by mere survival. Acceptance plays a significant role in this path. Recognizing that your past is a segment of your life's journey, not its totality, fosters personal insight. Understanding the dynamics of narcissistic personality disorders can shed light on the behaviors of your abuser. With this knowledge, you may cultivate compassion, transforming how you perceive your past experiences and transitioning from a place of judgment and victimhood to truly thrive in life. Empowering self-healing. Embrace the journey to reclaim your true self with 7 transformative steps that drive profound self-healing and actualization. This process requires confronting deep-seated wounds and nurturing yourself through compassion, which in turn liberates you to live freely and thrive authentically. Take Blair as an example. Burdened by a history of trauma due to her father's abuse, she found herself repeatedly drawn to narcissists, both in personal and professional spheres. Blair's journey of healing extended into the workplace. Conditioned to ignore her own needs in favor of others, she fell into the manipulative web of her narcissistic boss, Derek. He manipulated Blair's craving for approval, feigning the supportive father figure she never had, only to exploit her dedication for his own gain. However, by recognizing her pattern of self-abandonment, Blair took crucial steps to rewrite her narrative. Rather than seeking validation through Derek's conditional praise, Blair began to nurture herself with sincerity and compassion. She consciously let go of the futile hope that she could change others by sacrificing herself. In realizing her worth and the value of her contributions, she dismantled the power Derek held over her, effectively breaking the cycle of exploitation. Through this courageous act of self-partnering, Blair discovered the strength to depend on herself for love and emotional stability, creating an inner fortress against future manipulation. True recovery from narcissistic abuse hinges on internal transformation. By meeting your emotional needs with compassion and breaking free from the shadow of judgment, you reclaim your intrinsic worth and shield yourself from those who seek to manipulate. As you heal, a life free from abuse becomes your thriving reality.
In conclusion, You Can Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse emphasizes that true recovery begins with self-awareness and self-care. By detaching from the narcissist and nurturing oneself, survivors can disrupt the cycle of abuse and addiction. Key takeaways include understanding narcissistic behaviors, recognizing the roots of personal vulnerabilities, and the pivotal role of self-devotion in healing. Evan's 7-step recovery plan guides survivors toward embracing their true selves, shattering limiting beliefs, and reclaiming their worth. This journey culminates in thriving beyond abuse, empowering individuals to transform past pain into wisdom and strength. Through compassionate self-partnership, readers learn to protect themselves from future manipulation, fostering a life defined by autonomy and emotional security.